guys. Okay, so I want to share a message God gave me today. Okay, this was something I actually was dealing with, and this was the word He gave me today. When it comes to prophetic words, okay, when it comes to prophetic words, make sure you are only taking what's for you. All right, make sure you are only taking what's for you. We were talking because, okay, so a lot of people I've been in this we've kind of been in the same similar season where some people, they've already kind of crossed over, and others are still kind of waiting and hoping they're doing everything right, and wondering and searching and hoping, and just trying to keep the hope, trying to keep faith, but kind of in a state of searching too, right? So I found myself kind of in that space to where it's some prophetic people that I follow, and I have a tendency to, scroll through and listen to whatever they posted sometimes, because honestly, I want to make sure I don't miss anything, and I have a relationship with God for myself, but I also like to hear from them too. I like to get confirmation on the words that God has given me, right? Because God speaks in so many different ways. So having that extra confirmation makes me feel better too. And so, anyways, I had listened to a word from somebody I've been following for a while that I know God led me to follow. Um, and this particular word I listened to, afterwards I felt bad. And the thing was, the word wasn't for me. The word wasn't for me. It left me feeling confused, and it left me feeling bad. But the thing of the matter was, it was not for me. It wasn't for me. I wasn't confused because the person wasn't a prophet. This person has spoke many words that were for me, which is why I follow them. But it's millions of trillions of people in this world. I don't know exactly, the population count, but the thing is, this particular word was not for me. So it left me confused, not because the person wasn't a prophet, but because it simply wasn't for me. So it just started my day off really bad, and God had to, as my day went on, he was showing me things, and he started talking to me about it. At first, I didn't even realize it because he speaks in so many different ways. Um, I found myself getting somewhere later than I should have because God was giving me this message. And so basically, what it was, I was in the wrong lane. And this happened 2 times in a row. This happened 2 times in a row. I was driving somewhere and I kept ending up in the wrong lane, and it would delay me. And y'all live in Texas. And if you in the wrong lane on the wrong street, or if you miss your exit, you got to go out your way for a little while. It's a whole delay. You don't know when the next exit gonna be, right? So I was experiencing something like that. And then when my GPS system was trying to help me, turn back around to get back on track to my destination, it was telling me to get in a lane that it would have seemed like it was the right lane, right? But it wasn't the right lane for me. Okay. And that's how God gave me this word. My GPS system was telling me how to get where I was trying to go, but I was sitting in a whole bunch of traffic. It was no way I could get to where the GPS system was telling me to go. That may have been good direction for someone else who wasn't in the position I was in, but it wasn't good direction for me. Okay. And so that's how God was giving me this word or whatever. A lot of people are searching. Sometimes, you can't help it. And God does use his prophets to speak through. So I'm not saying don't listen to prophetic words, because he gives me prophetic words, all the time in prophetic dreams. But he was reminding me of when he first led me to start listening to prophetic words. And for me, it was kind of guidance, because I didn't know at the time he was going to have me start doing them. So he was kind of preparing me, and I didn't even know. But then it would come times where I was looking for a word, looking for an answer. And I would scroll and I would look at up the people I follow, and there wasn't any words for me. And God told me one day, he said, "Why you keep looking at them?" And he was like, he wanted me to come to him. You can get addicted to prophetic words. And listen, y'all, I'm just gonna say it like this, okay? God is a jealous God. He is a jealous God, and I love it. But because what he had to show me was he gives his prophets words to give to us, but he does not want you to be dependent on any man or woman. You can go to him. You can always go to him. And if you find yourself when you're just, searching and desperate and anxious and you're looking from word to word, right? And God is like, come to me. God is like, he wants to talk to you personally. Now it may not be audibly, but he speaks in so many different ways. And I'm just sharing this for anyone else if you're dealing with this right now. God had God speaks to me through numbers too, and he had been showing me that it's a certain group of numbers. He shows me in a certain order that lets me know when he wants one-on-one time with me. Okay, and you have to look at God, your relationship with God as a marriage as well. So me and God, I talk to him all throughout the day. From the moment I wake up, I'm like, good morning, Daddy. From the moment I wake up, all throughout the day, I talk to him. I don't go a day without talking to him. Just like if you woke up with your husband or your wife, good morning, right? You tell them good morning, I talk to him all throughout the day. But that's not the same thing as what he wanted from me, okay? When he shows me these certain numbers, that means he wants to get close. That's a certain level of intimacy. If you're not finding words for yourself in prophetic words, right? And I don't know why I'm going here, but I'm just going to flow with it. If you're listening to prophetic words and you can't seem to find a word for your situation or yourself, you might just need to go to God. He wants you to come to him directly. Okay? He wants one-on-one time with you. He never wants us to get dependent on another human being like that, to where we're always running to YouTube or TikTok or whatever, place you watch different ministers or prophets or whatever, or people who release the word or whatever. He never wants you to run to them all the time like that. God has to be first. And people who speak on his behalf don't have no word unless he give it to us. And I promise y'all, one time I was just looking and looking and looking, and he said, I ain't giving them no word for you because I wanted you to come to me. I wanted you to come to me. And one time he told me he wasn't gonna give anybody a word for me because he wanted me to just take it as he gave it to me. Sometimes he will give you confirmation, and sometimes he's like, I just want you to believe me. I want my word to be enough, right? So it's beautiful when he confirms it. But sometimes I've experienced this and he was like, I just want you to take it. I just want you to take it and believe it, right? So I just had to share that. Be careful what you take. Be careful when you listen to prophetic words. They're a beautiful thing, and God uses it to encourage us, to confirm things to us, right? And to give warnings of the good and the bad. So it's a blessing. It's a good thing. It's a great thing, but you never want to get too dependent on it to where you're seeking that, and God is like, come spend time with me. God wants to tell you some things for himself. He doesn't want to use another person. He wants to get the middle person out. And God does want that time with you. And just like I was saying with a marriage and me talking to God all throughout the day, when God shows me that certain sequence of numbers, I know that means that he wants intimate time with me. Now, how I talk to him throughout the day is completely different than our intimate time. My intimate time with him, I go deep into praise and worship, y'all. I'm a worshiper at heart. And that is completely different from me, talking to him, saying different things to him throughout the day. And I was talking to a friend about this, and y'all, I didn't even mean for this video to get this long, but also you might want to identify your love language with God. Like, what is your love language? I was talking to a friend about this because we have different love languages with him, right? Some people could just read the Bible all day and they really enjoy it. And I'm gonna have to let me be honest. My love language is worship. Okay. So off the back, I might not want to start off my time reading. What ushers me into wanting to read more is worship. What ushers me into wanting to pray more is worship. Right? My love language with God is worship. So when I don't feel like praying, when I don't feel like reading, I'm a worshiper at heart. I enjoy worshiping God more than anything. I enjoy feeling his presence when he steps in the room. I enjoy it. That's my love language. Um, Start there. Because sometimes some people, you can be in a place to where you are tired, you are drained, you have so many feelings, you don't know how to feel, you're confused. And the thing is, God knows you're struggling with confusion. He knows you're struggling with being tired, and he wants you to come to him instead of running to all the prophetic words, because he wants to refill you. He wants to comfort you. He wants to change your perception on things, and he wants to give you some guidance. And he does that best one-on-one, okay? So anyways, y'all was just sharing this just in case anybody else happened to listen to a word that was not for them. And if you take a prophetic word that's not for you, it can affect your day. You know, it just like me being in that wrong lane, it caused the delay for me to get to where I was going, because that lane wasn't for me. That word wasn't for me. So when you take a word that's not for you, it will delay you. Some of y'all are already on the right page. I was already on the right page when I heard that word. All that word did was confuse me and got me off course. And the person who delivered the word was doing what they were supposed to do. I was searching a little bit too hard and taking things in that were not for me, right? So anyways, y'all, I just wanted to share that. God says somebody needed that as well. The prophetic words are good. Just make sure you take what is for you. And there will be times where he says, take a break. Come sit with me. Come talk to me. I want to tell you some things personally. I want to show you some things personally, right? Especially if you are super dependent on it, if you are kind of like addicted to it, and you're running to it before you run to God. He wants personal, intimate time with you, okay? All right, y'all. I love y'all. And y'all be blessed.